So, today is day 7 and 8 of learning Spanish. Now, I've been pretty consistent over the past week about doing my studies, and I'm going to fill everyone in on exactly what I've been up to. So, every single day, I've been using Link, which is a paid subscription, a language learning subscription, that I use online on this computer and on my phone. And it has a section called mini stories. And I'm pretty much using those mini stories of whatever language I choose, in this case Spanish, to write down those stories and write the English translations for each and every word. Not every sentence, every word. And I covered why I do that in a previous video. But yeah, I write down each and every word in English. And the reason for this is, well, this is a really good start, I believe, for well, learning a language. I mean, it's much better than what used to happen when you're sitting in school and they give you a sentence and then they give you a bunch of multiple choice options and then you have to fill in the fucking thing and do some bullshit like that. And the reason why that's annoying is because you're putting strenuous and you're straining your brain to think about what the solution might be. But I don't think that's actually an ideal way to learn. I don't think you should be trying to figure out how to solve the puzzle in that sense. Actually find that, I think that it can be counterproductive by doing that. It takes a long time, you know, and you're not necessarily going to remember it. What takes a better amount of time, although it still takes fucking ages, but it's going to be better, is if you expose yourself to everything, so you recognize everything, and then you repeat and you use repetition as a way to remember and memorize everything. So it's as simple as that. There's the two steps: recognition and repetition. I don't believe in straining your brain. Don't do that to yourself. It's going to make the language learning process terrible. And it's just fucking... Anyway, look, this is my own method that I'm doing, but I just think it's clearly beneficial. And I've done quite a little bit of research onto this, and this is the way to do it. This is absolutely the way to do it. So it's recognition and repetition. You know, when you were young and you were learning your first language, you weren't taught in the school setting how to say the words that you know now. Trust me. Like if your first language is English, for example, which mine is, and it might not be. Obviously, there's many. You could be from anywhere. It doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make is that you didn't learn through school. You learnt through recognition and repetition because you heard your language so many times, and well, you had to initially recognize it in whatever form that might be. That might be on paper, or it might have been something that you've listened to a million times. You recognize it and you repeat it. And you've had it repeated to you a million times, and that's how you know it. So, you know, if you were to ask me, well, how do you know that sentence is grammatically correct? I wouldn't be like, oh, well, it was because I was at school and the teacher told me. It wasn't like that. It's because I've heard it a billion times. That's how I know it's correct. That's the way to say it. I've heard it a billion times. So that's the way to learn. And this is my method. And yeah, so it's day 7 and 8. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to write story number 7 and story number 8. And I'm going to write those down. This is number 6. Number 5, which is what I said I would do in the other video. And it's been good. I'm definitely learning a lot, you know. I'm not memorizing a lot though, to be honest. But this is the whole point. This is the recognition stage. This is the whole point of me writing down everything. It's to get it. It's to let my brain see it. This is the way I look at it. I don't really think about you. I think of you as someone who's making the decisions, but I think of your brain as something else. This is so if you get confused in terms of the way I'm speaking, I'm using your brain and your capabilities as something almost external. So you need to train that. You need to treat it well. You need to put habits to make sure that your brain can learn. So anyway, I'm exposing myself to the material, which is what I'm doing when I'm writing down the Spanish and the English definitions. So it's as simple as that. Now, I've been recently getting into a lot of like Spanish music and stuff like that, and that's a really good way to get yourself into it and make it real, because you don't learn unless things are real. So, and what I mean by that is that, like, because I'm living in Australia, there's no Spanish around me, and you know, I'm not exposed to any real parts of Spanish culture or anything like that. So it's very, very foreign, particularly in the place where I'm at currently. It's very foreign. So You have to implement that into your life in some way or another to make it real. Because if you make it real, then you're going to treat it more seriously. It's not just going to be something completely theoretical, something completely intangible, or sort of imaginary. Now it's real. Now there's songs about it. Now you're watching videos in it. Now you're doing things. Surround yourself in that sort of thing. But that's, yeah. So I mean, all I would say there, like, is that I've just been, yeah, watching or just listening to some more songs, listening to some Spanish songs. Makes it real, makes it fun, and yeah, um, yeah, yeah. Also, that's it.